Okay, seems that nobody else is coming today. So we'll start like this. First of all, I want to apologize for the yesterday's meeting. I forgot to record while streaming, and Twitch muted my stream, so I cannot upload it to YouTube. We'll have to redo that one next Friday. We'll go again to the problems, C++ problems. And today I want to recreate a very simple game, but let me show you because it's easier to see it than me explaining it. Okay, I believe most people know this game, very popular now. Basically, you have fruits of different sizes, and when you combine fruits of the same size, they combine into a bigger one, and the goal is to reach the final fruit. That's the game. It's easier than what we did in the past, but this might be good for people that are new in this group. Okay, I prepared some assets. Hi Whoop. One second, I have the project. I already created the project because it takes a while, and we only need a few assets, a couple images for this, not that complicated. But before we start, I want to know, is here anyone that is a complete beginner to Unity? Meaning, it's the first time you see this interface. Okay, let's okay, so I'll explain anyway for those that are new. Okay, you have the scene panel where you see the objects and can move them. Then you have the game panel where you see the game, uh, how it looks while playing the scene. Then you have the console where you see errors, and maybe when you debug code you can show your own messages here. Then then we have the project panel. Here we keep all the files, all the assets, and I recommend you do this in all projects. You need to have a folder called resources, like this, because Unity has a function called the resource load, and you can use it to get assets from to load assets by script. In some situations it's useful, and in this folder I recommend you keep everything organized. Scenes, one for sprites, meaning images that you import in this project. Then animations, one for scripts. Okay, and what else do we need? Maybe audio. Okay, what else? Sprites, and one for prefabs. Prefabs meaning objects that you save. Okay, now let's import those assets. We have background, fruits, and a white square image that we'll use to create some colliders. Okay, but I put this incorrectly in scripts. We need to put this in sprites, like this. Okay, let's call this scene the game. Name it to game. Okay, in the main camera we will add a background, but if you want to use the background from the camera and we want to modify it, here you can modify the color. Okay, Now let's create some colliders for the fruits to fall into, but before that let's create a background. We just need to do sprites square, center, I put it in the middle, and we have some textures here, and I already have a script for this from our previous projects. I'll copy paste this, but need to go to our last project. Where is it? Unity projects, puzzle 2D. Where is it? Puzzle 2D. Assets, resources, scripts, background script. We'll just copy paste this here into the scripts folder, and I will explain how this works. So we want to create the illusion of movement for the background, and to do this we'll increase its size either on one specific axis or both, and you'll see the difference in a second. Is to compile. Okay, here we have the texture, but when you have pixel art you need to go to your sprites and always in filter mode select point, otherwise the graphics are unclear. We'll call this background. Okay, and draw mode we want tiled, but it's a little bit too small. Increase the scale. Now it's too big, maybe one like this. Okay, and let's cover the whole screen first, like this. Maybe increase it a little bit more. Okay, now that we have this, we can add the script, and I will explain. We'll open it and see how it works. So background script. Okay, and we need to add some images to the script, some sprites. It takes a second to load. Okay, for some reason this is bugged. Maybe we have to wait a little longer. I don't know why this takes so long. Just double click this instead. Okay. Okay, so we have the sprite render component, and we need this because again, to create the illusion of movement, we increase the size on one axis or on both. And here we have a float growth speed. This is the speed of the movement. Move type, because we want to have different type of movement. And we have vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. And then here this is an array of sprites in case we want to randomize, or sometimes we want to have multiple possible sprites for the background. And this one represents this is the sprite index, which we'll use to select a sprite from this sprite array. Okay. But we need to add the sprites here. In this sprite array, let's say 7 the size, and we'll add them one by one. Okay, and here we can use the sprite index to select one of these. I like the green one. Select not 3, yes 3. Okay. And now move type, if we leave it 0, let's play the scene to see how this looks. For how long have I been programming? For a couple of years, but just as a hobby. I have to ask, are you from the Discord group or you stumbled upon my stream? So see, if you leave it 0, we change the size on both axes, and we create this diagonal, this movement in the diagonal direction. But if we select 1, we should move only on one axis. Which one, I don't know. We'll check now. Okay, see, now it moves not vertically, horizontally, and you can also move it vertically, but I'll keep this 0, so move diagonally. Okay, now that we have the background, let's create some layers. So we have the background layer, and then we have the platforms, and then we have the fruits. So we'll have some sorting layers. Now let's create the platforms. Just drag and drop that square. Let's reduce, or rather increase this pixels per unit, 500, like this. And filter mode to point, because we are working with pixel art, but in this one should not matter. We can leave it whatever value here. Call this collider. Let's resize it a little bit. Let's make it brown. Yes. Okay. And to this we'll add collider. The sorting layer should be platform, and we need a 2D box collider. Okay. We use physics in this game, so integral should be unchecked. Now let's copy this collider, and now create this one. Let's rotate it a little bit. So 20 like this. Now we'll copy paste this, and on the x-axis we'll multiply by -1 to place it to the right side, and now we need to rotate it to the other direction like this. Now we have the platform for the fruits to fall into, and I'll create an empty game object and call this um, platform. Okay, and drag all these colliders here so we can move them. Instead of moving them individually, we move this parent object and move them all at the same time. We might have to modify this later because I don't know how one second. Okay, we'll keep this like this for now. And for the colliders we want to have a tag. So just no, actually we don't need for this one, we just need for the fruits. Okay, let's create a game manager and script. Let's create a script game manager. Okay, and now let's create that fruit, one fruit for the beginning in this folder sprites. See, we have a file. If I open it with multiple fruits, and we want to split this into many sprites. So filter mode point because we are working with pixel art. Then in sprite mode here, multiple sprite editor, and now we slice, not automatic but by cell size. Let's try 16. Yes, it's 16 pixels wide. Okay. Now we have each individual sprite. Let's start with the small fruit, this cherry. Okay, dragging it into our scene, and let's place it in the fruit layer, sorting layer for the sprites. Call this cherry. Okay, but it's a little bit too small. This is too small. Let's go to that file and pixels per unit. Let's increase it. Okay, this now it's bigger, but too big now. Let's reduce this. Maybe something like this. Okay, and we want to add a collider to this circle collider for this one. This circle collider to we want to reposition this. So here in offset, to move this. Now it's in the center of the, and then we want to reduce the radius like this. Okay, and we are using physics, so we do not check its trigger, and to have physics we need a rigid body 2D. This gives physics, and here in gravity scale, this means how powerful the gravity is for this object, and we want no gravity in the beginning. Okay, the mass will modify this for each fruit to. So when we create bigger fruits, we modify this mass to balance the game. Okay. Dynamic type, yes, dynamic, and collision should be continuous. Now let's add a tag here for this fruit. Okay, now we want a script on this fruit. which will only contain one value, which is an integer to know what type of fruit this is. So fruit, we create this script, but let's move these two scripts to the scripts folder first. Okay, now let's go to our cherry and open that script. Okay, and here we delete this, we don't need any of this, just public int fruit type. Now we know the type, and let's create the logic in our game manager. Okay, so leave this 0, open this game manager. Okay, so we need an array of possible fruits, so fruits array, so not array, prefabs, like this, public here game object array, so brackets means array. Now that we have the fruits, we want to have an object variable where we save the current fruit that is about to we are about to throw this to the platform. So private game object current fruit. Okay, at the start we want to only throw fruits that are from 0 to 2. So the first 3 sizes of fruits we want to select to randomize from those. So here in start, let's create a function. So public void spawn new fruit. Okay, so first we have to randomize, so we'll create a random int, random number, and the random range from 0, and let's see what they say here. Minimum inclusive, this is for float, we want for int, we want an int, so this is inclusive, the maximum is exclusive, so from 0 to 3, like this. Now we have a random number, and we can spawn a fruit from that array of fruits, but first let's select a position for the spawn. Okay, and let's use the position of the game manager itself, so we don't need to create another variable. Place this about here for now. So first we can spawn it and put the object in this variable at the same time, like this. So current fruit equal to instantiate, which means spawn. First we need to specify what fruit, so fruits prefab random number, and later we might have to balance this, so the chance to get a fruit is not equal to, the chances are not equal. Here it's completely random, so the chances are equal. So fruit prefabs, then we need to specify the position, which is transform position, meaning the position of the game manager. Okay, and then the rotation. Turn on identity means the rotation of the prefab, but you can place any rotation here. Okay, now we spawn this and we have it in this variable, and we want to check for the input. So we'll move this fruit by pressing A or D. A for moving to the left, and the D for moving it to the right. And we can check if the key is pressed down, but there is a better method in Unity. So we check for something called this vector 3 horizontal axis, and here sorry, not vector 3, int. So input dot get axis, and here horizontal, like this. And this sorry, this needs to be a float, because and this is a value that goes from -1 and 1 when you press D. So if you press nothing, this is 0, okay, but if you press A, this will go in a short amount of time from 0 to -1, and if you press D, it will go to 1. So we know this is the same as almost the same as checking for input, like checking for the key, but it's better because it's not instant. It will not go from 0 to 1 or from 0 to -1 in an instant. It will take a short amount of time, but the movement will look smoother like this. Okay. Now that we have this, so we know if a key is pressed. We want to move that fruit, but with limits. We need to limit the movement. So let's see, where is the limit? Somewhere around here. So let's save that 3.2. Okay, so 3.2 is the limit. Let's have a variable for this. Private float movement limit, and let's say in the start function, let's say this is 3.2 f meaning float. Okay, and here we want to move it, the object, unless on the x-axis it is bigger than this or smaller than minus this. Okay, so we check if our current fruit position, transform position x, only the x value, is smaller than 3.2f, and we need to say or. So I have to search for this because I don't know how to write this symbol. Okay, so this is the or operator. So if it's sorry, not smaller, if it's bigger than, no, smaller, if it is smaller than this, and also not or, and it is smaller, it is bigger, sorry, than minus this, like this, and let's use that movement limit variable, not 3.2. Okay, so minus movement limit. So if it's in that interval, we want to move this if the key is pressed. So before this, if we want to check if this horizontal axis is different than 0, so if a key, meaning if a key is pressed, and inside this we check if it can be moved, and we there are two ways in Unity to move objects. One is you add the velocity to the rigid body, so by physics, or by teleporting. In teleporting is this function. So current transform translate, this one here. Okay, we need to select the transform of the fruit, so current fruit transform translate. Okay, and we need here to specify a couple things: the direction, and we want a certain speed. So here let's create a public float move speed, and in here we only move it on the x-axis. So here we say vector 3 left. Okay, not left, let's pick the right one because it's positive, and multiply. So this is the direction. Sorry, not like this, we need to create a new vector. So new vector 3, and here on the x-axis we place that horizontal axis like this, and on the other axis 0. Now we have the direction, and we'll multiply this by move speed, and maybe time delta time, which is this is a float that represents the time between frames. Okay, this will make this move smoother. Okay, so direction times move speed times the difference between frames, and with this we teleport that object, not by rigid body. Okay, and when we press space bar, we want to drop that fruit. Okay, and to do that we need a rigid body component of that fruit. So we check if input that get key down. So this happens once when you press when the key is pressed down. If you say get key, just get key, it will happen while the key is pressed down multiple times until you release that key. Okay, and okay, so here we check which key. So key code space bar, and if this happens, we want to get the rigid body of that fruit. So current fruit get component rigid body 2D. Let's check if sorry, not like this with lowercase b. Let's check if we use the rigid body correctly, just in case. Yes, it is correct. Okay, and we want the gravity scale, so we select that variable gravity scale, and we press 1. Now it has gravity, and since we dropped that fruit, we no longer have control over it, and we want to spawn another one, so spawn fruit. Okay, okay, but one thing that we need to make sure we don't get bugs here we want to only have controls. Let's create a new script for this here. So here, public void, not public void, just void player controls. Okay, and we'll copy all of this, so we have this organized. Okay, and we want this, so here we copy paste this. Okay, so now we have the controls in a function, and we want to have controls only if our current fruit exists, so it's different than null. Otherwise we might get errors when this is null, because so we check if the fruit is different, and then we have the control is different than null, and we check, and then we check for input. But okay, it's okay. Now we need to go to that fruit script here, and we want to add a couple of things here. Okay, but let's see, before we do that, let's go to our sprites and see what fruits we have here. Okay, we have apple. This one should be a peach. Okay, I'm looking because I want to know the fruits that are circular, so we can use circle collider. Okay, we'll see, but let's assume we only have circle colliders, and we want on collision, so on collision enter 2D. So this function happens when um, one time at the collision, so when one collider enters another collider. First we want to check if collision collider compare tag, we want to know if this is a fruit. Okay, and if it is, we first let's create some variables, one for circle collider 2D, circle collider, and for sprite renderer, and I will explain why. Because we have a problem here. We cannot just spawn the bigger fruit at collision. We first need to remove those two fruits that collided and created the bigger fruit, and if we delete them both, then this script no longer exists and we cannot spawn the bigger fruit. So instead of destroying these two fruits that collided, we disable the components, and then we spawn the bigger fruit, and then we destroy those fruits. Okay, so here we do this only if we check here if fruit type, so the type of this fruit is equal to collision this means so the collision, so has some data about the collision, and the one is the collider, so the fruit that collided with this one. And here we get that component fruit, and we check the type, so fruit type. So let me comment this: if fruits are the same, we want to do what I just said, we need to disable both the colliders and the sprite rendering. So circle collider enabled. First let me comment this so we know what this means. Disable colliders and a sprite render for fruits of same type. So let's do this for the first one. But see, I have a problem with this because see, if both fruits use this function, see, the problem is we can't have this function happen on both fruits. So instead we need to do something different. We need to have we can just have this function on both fruits. So instead we'll do something a little different. We need to go to this so by default these fruits will not be fruit, okay? So we don't want this function to happen twice. So one of them has to be something else, not fruit. So the one that we are controlling will change the tag to default, let's say default. So default untag like this, and we don't even need to but see, this is not good either, because see, if two fruits collide and create a bigger one, and then that bigger one collides with the same type and it has fruit, we have the same problem here that we have here, because both will be fruit, and this code will happen twice. So we need to think how to do this. Not that simple. I thought it is simple, but it's not. Okay, you have any suggestions for this? How do we make sure this function happens only once, or does it even matter? Okay. So we need another way to find the collision. But we can do something here. We can allow this to happen twice. and so here we disable the components. Let's say here, let's get that fruit script. So fruit script equal to this one, and instead of writing this code, we just say fruit script. So this is the other fruit, and here okay, we disable these variables too. And now we spawn that bigger fruit, but I'll do something to make sure that it happens only once. And to do this, we here need to create a coroutine. And if you don't know what a coroutine is, it's like a update function that happens simultaneously with the update, and to use this usually for processes that need to happen over time. And we call this 1 second. So here, instead of this function, we'll create a coroutine. So spawn fruit, new fruit coroutine. Okay, and instead of this, we do this, but first we wait a certain amount of time. So let's say yield return new, wait for seconds, let's say 10% of a second. Okay, so we wait an amount of time, and when we do this, we want to save this in a variable. So let's remove this first. And now we want a function public void found new fruit, and here we want to save this coroutine once it started. So public means not public, just coroutine spawn fruit coroutine like this, and we want to say this equal to start new coroutine spawn new. So basically, instead of spawning the fruit instantly, we wait a certain amount of time. But why does this not work? The call is ambiguous. Between spawn new fruit and okay, here needs to be start spawn new fruit again. And we do this only if the coroutine is not running. Spawn new fruit is different than null. Then so not different, sorry, it is null, so the coroutine is not running. Okay, and this will make sure that when this happens, this we'll see, might work, might not. Let's see if this works. So here we want to say we want that game manager, so public game, or not public, just game manager, and in the start function we want to find this. So this game manager variable is equal to game object find. Let's see how we call this. We call this game manager, but we don't want the whole object, we want the component, the script on it. And let's check if this works. Here we want to start game manager, start start founding fruit. But this is not the, sorry, my mistake. This is that was okay. We don't need this. We need to create a function called, this is the unnecessary, sorry. We have a function for spawning fruit, and we want combine fruit quality for yes, combine fruit quality, and we want combine fruit quality. And here we need to know the type of fruit, so int fruit type, and we just want to spawn, if this is not running, here let's say wool, and this is by default false because it's not running, and here we say it's true at the beginning. And here we know the fruit type, we want the position, so here not only do we need the type but also vector3 spawn position. Okay, and we stancate that fruit, so fruits prefab fruit type at that position, and with its rotation, and then we say this is false. Okay, we have error here, we need to wait at least one frame, so before we spawn it, let's say this means wait one frame. Okay, and we want a function to start this, so public void start combine fruit, but only if this is false. Okay. Now let's see if this works. If not, we have to change this completely. But see, we need these two, so we cannot. We need here to have these two as well. And then here, fruit type and spawn position. Okay, and here we need instead of this start combine fruit. And here we need the types, so the type will be fruit type plus 1, so the next fruit, the next bigger fruit, and then position is collision point collision, where is it, the point, contacts 0, just like this. get the exact position of the collision. Unity collision point. Okay, so it's contacts, the first one. Okay, so here we say contacts and then 0. So this means the position of the let's see. Okay, I see. So here we must specify this point. Okay, now we have the position and type. And let's see if this works first. First, let's create 2 more fruits here because we randomize from 0 to 2, so we need 3 fruits. Let's save this one here in prefabs and let's create 2 more. So which one should be the bigger one? This one? What is this? Let's say this one is bigger. Let's put this here. Increase the size a little bit. Don't know exactly what this is. We need to move that collider to put it in the center of the fruit, like this. Okay, something like this. And I don't know what fruit this is. Call this peach. No. Okay, and we need another one. Let's save this to prefabs, but first this is fruit type 1. Save this here. Now we need another one. See sprites. Let's add an apple here. But let's make it green. Resize this. Place that collider in the center. This is not perfectly square, so we might have to move it a little bit to make it. Now let's multiply this by 1.5 and on the other axis as well. Okay, an apple. Let's put the fruit type 2 in this. Okay. And now let's save it and add all of these to our game manager. So here in fruits prefab we want to add these 3 in order of size. Now the move speed should be something different than 0. And now let's test if this works. Okay. Okay. First thing that doesn't work, we cannot move this. Let's see why. Let's use the debug mode in this editor. Where is the debug mode? Sorry, not there. Here in the inspector debug. Okay, now we see. See, the problem is we do not add that fruit to our variable here. See, it's none here. Let's see. What happens at start? See, we need to spawn that fruit. Spawn a fruit here. Start coroutine. Spawn new here in the scene we need to remove that fruit. Okay, and now we should have a fruit that we can control. See, we can move it, but only to the limit. And now for some reason uh, it's bugged because uh, it went further than that limit, and so we need to move this back when this happens. So here we move it, but else, so if it's not in that interval, um, first we need to check if we are to the left or the right. So if current fruit transform position x is bigger than 1 than 0, sorry, that means we are to the right and we want to move it back to that interval. So here current fruit transform position is equal new vector 3. On the x we want almost the limit, so that limit which is movement limit, and then we want to decrease it a little bit like this maybe, and now 0 on the other axis. Okay, this is the direction, sorry, this is the position, and else here we want to do the same, but this time we are to the left side, so we want to add this plus 0 point, and here movement limit must be minus. Okay. So let's comment this code a little bit. So here if we are not holding a fruit, this is -1 when A is pressed, 1 when D is pressed, and 0 when none are pressed. Okay. If fruit is in limits, fruit position is in limits, and here if fruit position is outside limits, and here if it is on the right side, and here on the left side. Okay, now we should be able to move that because it will not leave the limits. Okay, and let's increase that move speed a little bit. Let's double this. Okay, see, now we have a little bit of a problem here, because see here I made a mistake. These two need to be to keep the value from the objects. So current position, this copy this here. So here we'll keep the y value, and here we'll keep the z value instead of 0. spawned, but I wonder why you only get the apple. Okay, let's press space. See, now it falls. But we still are moving it because we made a mistake somewhere. So here we spawned a new fruit, okay? But not like this. Now it's not a function, it's a coroutine. So here we need to say start coroutine like this. And I made this by mistake, this coroutine, but now that I think about it, it's good that we wait some time, which is 10% of a second before spawning. Well, now let's drop this, see, but the problem is, see, these two interact. So to fix this, we need to make sure these two do not interact, and one way to do this is to wait until it falls, but let's first go to those prefabs and make sure the tag is fruit and see if this works. And so we'll wait more for the fruits to fall instead. So let's say we wait 1 second, and also let's spawn only one type of fruit to check if this code works. So instead here in spawn not random, but instead 0, just to test. Okay, so let's drop this. See, now it has enough time to 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 fall, so they do not interact. And see, now we have an error because these we did not get these in the start function. We need to get these two components. So here get component circle collider 2D, and also copy paste this here, sprite renderer, sprite renderer. So those were null. That is the error. And now let's pray that this works, because if not, I believe it's complicated to fix this. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we only have one. For some reason this works. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's randomize to make sure this works. Let's go to our game manager. I have no idea why this works. Okay, and here we want that random number instead of, so now we randomize, and we'll have to at some point to check the original game to balance ours. Okay, let's see. Okay, but okay, see, now we have a problem here. Yes, this happens multiple times at the same time, and this is not good. We need to change the logic. let's see how to fix this. So we cannot do this anymore here, this function combine, because what if we combine fruits while this is still active? Okay, we need to think at another solution for this. So we want this to happen only once, but if both are fruits, then this happens twice when they collide. Once this starts from one script and from the other, and it's not good because we spawn two fruits then. So how can we make sure this happens once? So let's see, if we say that the fruit that we drop is not fruit, it's untagged, then this will happen once. But then if we change its tag to fruit again, and it collides with another one of the same type, then we have the same problem. So that doesn't work. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we still need the game manager because that's where we have the array of fruits of prefabs, and also we need this point, so to know the position where we need to spawn the fruit. But let's do something different. Let's create a bool collided, say collided, or if it is collision, see, collides is collision, then it's false. But here first thing we make this true, equal true. Okay, and here, sorry, not here, first we do the logic. So we disable both, okay, and then we spawn that fruit, but this we make this at the end, we make this, I don't know, we're testing now, I don't know if this works or not. This collision is true, okay, or not, cannot do this like this. Okay, we need to think about this, not very simple. Let's use this and one more time and see what happens. Maybe we can think of something. Okay, so it works, but then we have a problem here. see. I see. Okay, so this works, but the problem is we do not have a fruit above this one. That's the problem. So this works here. Okay, so since this works, now we just need to complete the game. Let's try on this platform here. Let's change the texture. Maybe add the texture here. Let's remove the debug mode here in our inspector to normal, like this. Go to sprites, background, and add a texture. Maybe. See, it works, but these are a different size. Okay, let's see how this looks. Let's zoom in on this. Yes, I believe this is better. This looks better. We only need to resize this. Okay. Let's pick a lighter color like this. Now we need to first resize that collider here, size. On only on Y we need to modify this. This until it's okay. And on X maybe a little bit we want to modify this. Something like this. Now let's copy this to the other collider. Let's copy these two values. Okay. Now this is the correct size. Let's copy this also to the other one. Now this one we need to change manually, but not everything. The Y here we can take from here, and the other one we move it until we are satisfied. Seems to be the same. Okay. Now we increase the size of this, and the other ones on the Y like this. Now we have a nice texture to our colliders. And the game is playable. We just need to complete a few things. One is we need multiple fruits. In that original game I believe there are more than 10 or 10. Let's check the video and see. Let's see how many they have in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And if I see correctly, we need to increase our the size of our platform. Okay. So instead, we'll make this 0 rotation like this, and increase it a little bit. Maybe place this one lower like this, and now make this bigger, something like this. Okay, now we need to the size of this and on the y axis and copy paste it here, and we need to copy that position from here to here like this, and now multiply by -1 the x value. Now we have looks better. Maybe we can increase it even more, a little bit more, like this. Now we copy this x value here, but without minus, like this. Okay, this looks better. Let's take this apple, unpack the prefab so we can create the next fruit. Let's think what is bigger than an apple. Let's say this what is this? Let's say an orange is bigger, like this. Let's place a prefab of the apple as well to compare the sizes. So we'll increase this by 1.5, and on the y as well. Okay, this one we are lucky that is circular, and we need to center first the circle collider, and now increase the radius a little bit like this, and this one should be fruit type 3, and now it will take a while until we create at least 8-9 fruits. But let's check that game and see what kind of fruits we should spawn. What is the range of the fruits we can spawn. Let's why do I have so many ads here? Okay, let's see what can be spawned. So this would be the first one. Okay, so I see that you can spawn until the fourth one. Okay, so we'll modify our range here from 3 to 4. Okay, and now we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have 4 fruits that can be spawned. Let's see what else we can create. Orange. Now what's bigger than an orange? Maybe a pumpkin is bigger, but maybe smaller than a pumpkin. So let's say first a coconut. So coconut here. This is the fifth one, so 4 here. And we want to increase the size, but maybe not by 50%. Change the radius of that circle collider. Seems to be good already. couple more. The pumpkin. Here it is. Let's see. I believe this is a pumpkin. I'm not sure. Looks like one. And increase the size from by 25%. Let's reposition that collider again. So this is a pumpkin. Okay. And here when we combine, you also want to know what is the maximum index in this array of prefabs. So if we reached the last fruit, then we want to stop that interaction. So here when we do this, not only do we need to check this, but before that we need to check if fruit type is smaller, okay, smaller than that or equal, no, just smaller than that length. So here game manager, fruits prefabs length, but since we start from 0, this we need to add a -1. Let's put that in parentheses. Okay, so in other words, so here first okay, so let's put this if inside this one. So first we check if the fruit is not the last type. So if fruits are not the last type, and here inside we check if fruits are the same type. Now we need the score system for this, and to do that we need first to create a canvas, which is the space where you manage your UIs elements. Okay. So first let's create a canvas, UI canvas. Now the cost here, if you want this game to be played in multiple resolutions, you need to scale this with screen size, and I like to put full HD in this reference. This one, don't ask me what it is, I don't know. So, okay, and now that we have our canvas, let's double click to go to it. So here this box is basically the space where we arrange our UI elements. And now let's create two things. One is an image, and we want to make this black, rotate it slightly like this, not 45. Okay, and want it slightly transparent, and here in to the left we'll place this, and let's increase the size a little bit because we want to place the score here. So inside this, we call this score folder, and inside this we want to create a text, but I recommend this, not use the standard text, better to install the TMP. You have more flexibility and also better quality for the text. You can add the outlines, many fonts, and also no quality problems like blurry text. But you see, because I rotated the parent, this is rotated, so we need to rotate the other way by 45 degrees like this. So need to cancel that rotation, and we want to center this inside. Let's see how many digits we can write in this. So let's put a 0 here. And let's try to replicate the UI from that game, and let's see how it is organized.
Nimic nu este mai frumos decât să mă plac pe mine.
Let me try to copy this and open this in my browser.
So today I'm playing the watermelon game. So the goal of this game is
Let's see.
two cherries become a strawberry. Ooh. Okay, so these need to get connected. I kind of messed up there. Let's put a strawberry here and then drop that.
And here you have the high score.
I don't know if that was good. I'm probably gonna lose really quickly. Let's try this. That'll become an orange and then.
So this one, let's say, is the score. So score, text. And when you're using UIs, you have something called anchors, and these are used to adapt a certain UI element to resolutions, different resolutions. Okay, and I like to place them in the corners of the UI. Like this. I cannot select it. Okay, let's try to make the zoom in. Okay, can click on it. Okay, this is the score. And below this we want to replicate this, so copy paste this, and here in another color, so let's say orange, and the text, let's make it black, and let's change the font to something better. Font asset, okay, here, let's see which one looks better. This one is nice. This is also nice. Let's use this one, pixelated. And above this, we want to place a text. So UI text. And here I want to center it and also select that font. And we call this high score. Make this black. Make it bold, increase the size a little bit here in width, and let's also add a background to it. So let's place it this image in the middle. This should be slightly transparent, maybe. Drag this, no, first let's resize this. So here I score folder, this text folder, here let's arrange these a little bit. Okay, let's try to move these two. So high score folder and high score text a little bit. And let's copy that high score, this one, and call this score folder, and this one let's rename it to score text folder. Okay, and that score holder we want to move it here and rename this to score on it, like this. Like this, okay. And we can even animate these. Okay, so let's go here and create a new animator. So we want to animate these UI elements. So let's create an animator control and call this score animator. Now we need to go to those two UI elements and add the animator component to it. And to the animator we want the controller where we manage the animations, but we only have one, so we don't need to go to this screen where we create transitions. We will have one animation. Now let's select one of them, doesn't matter, let's pick this score holder and go to animations, create new okay, let's call this score animation, and let's add the property scale here. And there are two ways to make 2D animations and animations in general. One is in 2D you have the sprites of the animations and you add them here, but to animate this button we'll select a property which is scale, which means the size of that UI, and we want to change this property in the animation, but I realized that we don't want this on the whole object. Okay, we just want the text, so let's select that text and add to the text that animator controller. Okay, let's remove this one, we don't need this. Okay, let's add the controller and create again. Windows animation, create new score animation. Let's call it score text animation. Okay, now we need the property. Let's pick the scale, and now we go to the middle of the animation and we press the record button, and let's see how. Let's try E9. Okay, let's see how this looks. See, looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit too fast, so let's increase this not decrease this, something like this. That looks nice. Maybe let's go to that middle here at this frame. Maybe decrease this even lower, a little bit lower. Now we have a animation for both texts, I believe. And now we need to, first of all, high score. So here in our game manager, we need to add these two texts. So let's rename these. This one is high score text, okay, and the other one is score text. Okay. No, sorry. This one will remain like this. And here we need to add two public TMP texts. One is score text, and the other one is the high score text. Okay. And in the start we wanted to set that high score text. So high score text is equal. Sorry, the text is equal to. And now we will save the. In Unity you have something called player preferences, which are variables that are saved between scenes and permanently, even if you close the game. And here we want to place so player prefs get in this case it's a integer, and we'll call this high score like this. And let's see why. Okay, so the problem is this is a string and this is an int, so we say to string like this. Now we converted these to strings. So here get high score and set the high score text. Okay. Now that score is 0. The score is 0 by default, and each time we combine the fruits, so here in this one we need to add the score, but we want two things. We want to add score when we drop a fruit, and also when we combine fruits. But the thing is, in the original game, when you drop a fruit, when you drop a fruit, if there are too many fruits and they go over this line of the container, so if they go above the container, then it means it's game over. But we need to change the code a little bit. So let's close this. Let's go back to our scene and create a collider. So this one is an empty collider with no graphics. This is a end game collider. Okay, and let's say it's a box 2D collider, and let's resize this. It must be triggered, not without physics. And let's resize this a little bit. Okay, so this is the limit, but let's place this. No, this is good. We place it like this. Just make it thinner a little bit, and we can even use line collider. But I like the box one because it's more reliable. And we'll call this end game collider, exactly as the name. And when we drop a fruit, it should be untagged. Okay, so to do this, let's go to our prefabs, select all fruits, and here in tag let's say is untagged. Okay, and here in our fruit script we'll create another function called on trigger enter to this. So if collision is sorry, the compare tag, so we look for that end game collider. Okay, so if it is the end game collider, then we modify the tag of this fruit, which is untagged. So game object tag is equal to fruit, like this. And now what is there here? Expected. Okay, we need another parenthesis. So here we but not on trigger enter. Let's say on trigger exit. So it enters this collider, and when it leaves the collider, it becomes fruit. And now we need some code on that end game collider. So let's create a script for it. End game collider, and here we want let's see, let's first before we create this script, let's remove this 1 second, because I want to see if we can do it another way. So instead let's check on this fruit. So we copy paste this on trigger enter 2D, and if this is the collider, the end game collider, we want to end the game. So here let's have a bool public bool is playing, is by default false here in the start function, and we want to stop all controls if this becomes true. So here while so if is playing, so sorry, here is true, so it's playing. So while it's playing we have controls, and then we want to stop this here in the fruit. So game manager is playing equal false, and if this is false we want to we also want to but first let's get score on collision here. So here we want to add points, but we first need to create a variable for this here. So public float int score, and this is by default 0 when we start, and here we want to add to that score. So if when we combine fruits, we want to add, so game manager score plus equal, so we add to this 10 times, and we want that fruit type. So fruit type, but since we start from 0, we need to multiply by the fruit type plus 1. So if our fruit is type 0, it will still add 10 to this. So here let's comment this, add score on combination, and now we need also to add score when we drop a fruit. So here in spawn new fruit, no, not spawn new fruit, sorry, in controls here when we drop a fruit. We want to say add score, so here just score plus equal 10, so just 10. Okay, and every time we do this we want to also reset that the UI. So score text is equal score to string. Let's comment this as well. Update score text, and let's copy this to our fruit here where we add points, but we need to add the game manager before this, because this variable is inside the game manager. Okay, so now we have score, and we want to create some transitions between scenes. We want to have a main menu and want to transition to that, or maybe reset the scene on game over, or we have a button for this. But first let's create a scene, script the scene. Main menu, and we'll try to replicate that background here. 2D sprites square. This is styled. Let's make this white. Call this background. So we will replicating that background. Let's go back to our game to check that size here. So okay, 1.25, 1.25, one bolt, and here reset the position of right. But let's copy that texture. Now this is tiled. Okay, 20, and let's see 10. Okay, it works. And then we want the background script here, move type. Okay, and let's add some possible textures. Okay, we'll add them one by one. Maybe we change our mind and we need to change the sprite later. Okay, this looks okay. And here we create a canvas because this is the main menu. So UI canvas, scale with screen size. Okay, and first let me show you something interesting. Not UI, effects, particle system, and we want this particle system, so the background is should be in background layer. Okay, and this particle system, we go to renderer here, and let's place this in sorting layer. This is a particle system. Okay, and we want to have here in texture sheet animation. Let's see, we can use sprites in this. So let's go to fruits, to our sprites, and you can add here whatever. See, we can add your 2D sprites and create particles like this. And let's see if we can. Yes, we can add multiple ones. So let's add a couple here. Okay, see, and they are random, but let's see, why are they not random? Let's see, sprite. Okay. Let's add a couple more. pineapple, this one, blueberries, this one, and this one. And I don't know why they are not random. Let's see, cycle 0. See now, they don't cycle, okay. And if it's 1, then okay. Okay, let's look at this, how to make this random. Okay. And what if I go here and say -1? Very interesting. I don't know what is that. How do I make this random? Okay, render. I believe it's not here. Sub-emitters, stickers, external process, calling, stop action, rigid body, scaling, delta time. Okay. Looping. Okay, that makes sense. Let's look to each one carefully and try to find how to make this one. Emission. This is not a problem. Okay, arc mode random. Must be here somewhere. Speed. What is this? FPS. Okay. Okay. So 1 frame, 0 frames, and here start frame. Okay. 0 to, let's see, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From 0 to 10. See, now we have random. These fruits in the particle are random. Now let's go to our shape and change it to box like this, and we can edit this in the scene somewhere here. See, we can change the starting position by increasing this. Let's first place this in the middle first of all. Okay, now that it is in the middle, we need to resize it again. Okay, so it covers the whole screen, the whole horizontal axis. This, let's place it below. We want to have here random rotation. Okay. So start rotation should be between two constants. So let's say minus 45 like this. Now we have some rotation to them, or even let's say minus 180 to 180. Okay, so now we have some rotation. We want more fruits, something like this. And also, let's see how do we change that transparency. Here, let's say random between two colors. Let's select the first one, okay, and sorry, not like this. Create it like this. Create it. So it starts from here and here. Let's create a new one. So it's, we want 0. Okay. Not like this. Sorry. We want. Where is the transparency? I don't see the transparency here. Okay. I see. Okay, so here we can decrease it, see. So but let's just keep it like this. This is just to show you how to create particles with the 2D images. So we need to check this here texture sheet animation, and this we have some options. You can but if you want to randomize from multiple, you need to set FPS to 0 FPS and randomize at start frame. Okay, now let's create some button. In fact, just two things we need here. One is what's gonna be that music very loud for me. We need a button in the middle. Let's double the size, triple the size, make it black, text white, and let's keep that pixelized font. Center it, it is already centered, and here I'll just play like this, just clicking. Now this should be bigger. Okay, and also let's put an animation on this. So this is the play button, and here we need an animation, so let's put that animator, and let's place that score animation on this. And we also want an empty object. We'll call this main menu manager. We put a script on this to manage this, and we only need to have a function for that button. And also before that, let's place the scene here in the build. It needs to be the first scene, so we start in the main menu, and let's create that script. Let's open this, and here we just need one function, or two functions actually. We need a bool, so public, not public, just bool. Game is start. Now start function, but the start we want this to be false. And now we need the coroutine. So we call this start game coroutine, and inside we want this to be public because we want to add this to a button, and I have an error here. Not okay. So you'll return null. You need to wait at least a frame in coroutine. And we also want a transition from this to the game. So we'll go to our canvas and create two things. One, we want to have to show the high score here. So let's just copy this without the. So first thing, let's remove that animator from here because I don't want it here. I want it on the text. So let's place this on the text, and also here we don't need the button. This will be the high score, and here let's modify the color of this. first we want to have two text, one for the so here this is the actual high score text, and here we'll say high score, and below we have the actual high score. Okay, we'll make this another color, maybe something like purple or something, orange maybe. Okay, and this text as well, we'll make this something like but I want a lower font, lower the font a little bit. Okay, and now let's place those anchors. Okay, so first for this text I want to place it on top, and the other one, sorry, this one on the bottom. Okay, so these are used to stretch, to adapt the UI elements to the resolution. And now this whole object we want to place anchors on this as well. This, and this one seems to be okay. I need to see if I placed that animation. I have to select. Yes, there's the animation. And at the beginning of this, so first let's create two or just one text, TMP text, high score text, and at the beginning we want this to be equal to pair prefs, high score, and then to string. Okay, but here we need to say get int, and for some reason it's not working. Let's see why. Here we need to specify the text property on that component. Okay, now we have the high score. We need to create the transitions from one level to another. So here we want to create a panel, so this will stretch to the screen size, and we want this to be black, but you see the corners are visible because it's not the source image is not a perfect square. That's why I have a perfect square here prepared to put this here. Okay, now see the corners are not visible. We'll call this black fade, and we need two functions, one to fade this out and one to fade this in. So here public, not public, just enumerator fade out effect, and I'll copy paste the function from script. Let's see where it's Unity scripts, fade script. Okay, and I will explain what this means. But first let's get that image. So but if you want to use UI, you need to say at the beginning using Unity Engine UI, and you also want Unity Engine scene management to load the next scene. and here we want to first we need the image, so public image black fade image, and here we want to say this color, the color, and here we don't want vector t blur, we want matte f blur. So you need to create a new color, and inside we maintain red, green and blue, but on the alpha, which is the transparency, we use this lerp function. Okay, let's delete this like this. Okay, and the starting position it's 1, so it's opaque, perfectly opaque, and at the end 0, so it's perfectly transparent. But this we want to disable this recast targets. So if this is enabled, it will block clicks, mouse clicks. Okay, so we need to disable this so we can click through it. Okay, so what this means is we have a flow time, and this is time in seconds. So this will happen. This will fade from completely opaque to transparent in this amount of time, this float. That's what this is. One thing to keep in mind: this, if you use this, it will not be 0 at the end, because use this t value which goes from 0 to 1, but is not exactly 1. And to fix this, at the end we take this and say it's equal to this, but at the end just the end value, so 0. So we fade out when we fade out when we start when we enter this scene, so at the beginning, in other words. So start routine, fade out effect like this, and the time let's say 2 seconds. And now here the start game coroutine, we want a bool to stop this from happening twice. So when we start this, we say the starting is true, and now we want to fade that we want to use that fade, but in the other direction, so we fade in. Okay, so we want here to have a float time as well, and instead of 1, we start from 0 to 1, not from 1 to 0 on the transparency. And here at the end we set this to 1, so the end value. So first we fade, and then we load the scene. So scene manager, load scene, and you can either put the index or the name. I like to use the name like this. So we want this to happen when we press a button, but to do this we need to create a function to start this, because the problem is if you go to the button, you cannot add the coroutines. It needs to be a function. So we create a function where we start this coroutine. Start play game coroutine, and let's put this let's say start coroutine this, and we want 2 seconds the time of the transition. And now we just need to put that function on the button, but we have an error here because we forgot one parenthesis. let's place on that play button. Here where it says on click, we add plus. We need to select the object with the script, which is main menu manager, and then the function, which is start play coroutine. Okay, and this should be enough. Now if we play the scene, we should see that transition. Let's see. Oh, now we have a problem. Let's see, where is it? Yes, here. See, since this doesn't exist, we need to specify a default value. So here we want 0. This is the default value, and in game manager, here we need to add that default as well. And I don't know what that is here. 1 second. What is this? We do not need this. I don't know why they added that automatically. So now we should see that transition from black to okay, let's see what else. Okay, we need to add go to main menu manager and add that image. Forgot what it. And not only that, but the high score text here as well. We need to add this. Let's see if this works. What am I doing? I guess he left. Okay. But one problem I have is so first let's see. So see, it works, the play button, but one problem I have, first of all, we also forgot to add that to the game. So let's go to script, no, scene, game, and game manager and canvas. Let's open that canvas. Here we want the text, so these two. Here in the game managers, so this one here, this one here, and let's replicate that effect from the main menu manager. Sorry, the main menu. So image, we want this to be black. The sprite, but not like this. Sorry, so not image, panel, like this. Let's add that perfect square here. Increased, so at the beginning it's completely black. Okay. And now let's say using Unity Engine UI, and here let's say public image black fade effect, and now we just need to copy that from our main menu here, fade out effect, and since it's the same, so let's call this not effect but image, because we want to keep the same name. So here let's copy that coroutine, and now here at the beginning, but we also want at the end of this to be able to play the game. So it's playing is false, is true, sorry, and then here we say it's false at the beginning, and after that we start that coroutine. So start coroutine, let's copy paste this here, and here 2 seconds. Okay, and now we have so let's see, from 1 to, okay, we fade out as well this needs to be, is not necessary, but I like to keep this unchecked so it doesn't block mouse clicks. Okay, and let's try to play this. Let's go to our main menu, remove the errors. Okay, now let's play this scene. And the one problem that I have is that this text is not animated, and let's see what causes that. Canvas play button, and then we go to the text, and here you see I have the animator, but it's not animated in the text. See? So let's make transition to this one. No, let's set as default. See, this was the problem. This needs to be the default, but let's see. Okay, looks quite okay, but here I put the animator on the whole object. No, we just need this one, and here let's place that square animator and replay the scene. Okay, so now they are both animated. Let's play the game so the transition works. Okay. Okay, now we have an error for some reason. Fade out. Here we have a problem with this coroutine because I forgot to go here in our game manager and that image here from the canvas. Now it's added, and we should not have this problem. Okay. So now if we play, see, but now we have another problem. See, because we changed the size of the container, and now we have to first of all let's disable this canvas to see the scene, and now let's place that where is that main manager? So this is the spawn position. We need to place it higher somewhere here. Hopefully it's visible on our resolution, and let's replay to see if this works. And if I remember correctly, these are untagged at the beginning, these fruits. And they change to fruit once they pass through that collider at the top of the container, which is a trigger. Okay, so let's check if this is true. We have this fruit here, and let's see the tag. It's untagged. So we have a problem with that collider here, the end game collider, for some reason. Okay, let's see first where it is positioned. It is positioned correctly. Now let's try to drop another fruit and see if but it's not moving because we have a problem here. Here where we move it, for some reason we entered this, but let's try again. Let's see. Okay, and this one is movable. change the limits first of all, and then if you drop it, see this one does not move. So let's see that game manager and set this to debug, so we see all the variables, and this one, it is here but is not moving for some reason. It's not moving. See, in the current fruit variable we have it, but it's not moving. So that means it does not enter the condition. It does not enter the move condition. And also, why is this fruit here? Okay, that's orange. But then what is this? That's a peach. Okay, so now the collider works, but this is not moving. Let's close this debug to let's set it to normal. Now, why is this happening? Okay, so let's see again the debug mode. Look at the script, that's what's important. That's the fruit. Let's look at the game manager. So is playing is false. So somewhere we're stopping. Somewhere we say it's playing is false, and I believe it is here. So the problem is this happens. So this happens first. We change the tag from untagged to fruit, but this happens after that because it considers that the exit is also an enter for some reason. Yes, we need to also here in the fruit script say public int and collisions, and this is 0, and here we count how many times it collided with that endgame collider. So here we check if and also not only the trigger is endgame collider, but also if the collisions are bigger than 0. And so let's say inside here, if this is bigger than 0, then we end game, else we want to increase that collision counter. And now we should this should be playable. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works now. Okay, let's zoom in to see better. Okay, see the score is updated, but I don't like that we don't have some sort of rotation. Okay. Okay, seems to work pretty well. See, it works pretty well. But one problem I have, see, it is once we drop it, it still can be moved by pressing the keys here. So once we drop it here in space, when we press space, first of all, before we spawn a new fruit, because this takes 1 second, we want before we wait, we want to say that the current fruit is equal to null, so we can no longer control it. Seems okay. Play again. And now we just need to add a couple of things like particles, sound effects, um, and also create more type of fruit. And see, we need to play it to see if the condition, the end condition is. And also see here we have a 0 here that I don't know why it's there, because let's close that black image first. Not here in game. Save this. Close this. See, I believe I placed here in high score text the incorrect one. So not this one, and also not this one. So this should be, yes. Like this. Now let's enable that black image again. Okay, like this. Let's play it from the main menu. Okay, let's zoom in on this. Now it is not controllable once you drop it, but I would like to add some rotation to this. And see, this one is let's pause this 1 second. What is this? What is this? Why is this why does this not have gravity? Okay, this one has okay, because obviously obviously this by default have 0 gravity, so when we combine two fruits the result starts with 0 gravity. So to fix this we need to go to where we combine here where we combine after we spawn the fruits. Let's see, game manager, start fruit combination. Where is the start combine fruit here? So after here, when we instantiate this, we also want to say to get that rigid body component. So get component rigid body 2D like this, and change that gravity to 1, and we'll balance the mass of the rigid body later. Okay, zoom in here, and let's pause this 1 second and check if indeed the gravity is 1. But before that, actually we need to combine two fruits first before we can see. Okay, let's pause. It seems that it is working. Let's check. See, okay, now the gravity is 1, so it is working. Let's try to play this a little bit. And I would like to have some sort of rotation when we drop this. So let's say here game object, no, not let's say rigid body 2D is equal to, so we spawn it and get that rigid body at the same time. Now we want to send to the gravity to be 1, like this. And now we want to add some rotation, so add torque. And here we want first of all some rotation force. Let's start low. And let's see. This is just a float value. Seems to be just a float value. But let's place a random value here. So instead, let's say random value is equal to range let's say -5 to 5. Like this. And let's comment this. So spawn next type root. Then here we enable gravity. Here we get a random value for rotation. Add rotation force. Here we wait 1 frame. Okay. Let's check if it's working. Okay, let's make this full screen. And I'm not sure if this is enough. The force might be too low. Let's try to multiply this by but first let me check that add torque function, because I'm not completely familiar. 2D, let's see. Rigid body 2D add torque. And just it. A float. Okay. So then let's say let's multiply this by 10 and see the results. But see, it's random, so sometimes it might be low. Okay. Yes, I don't see. Let's pause. Check this one. That is dropped already. And look at the rigid body. Where is the velocity? I don't see the velocity because it is already in debug mode. So it's dynamic. Why is this not rotating? Let's check this. So rigid body 2D. Okay, and we add torque here. Okay. Something. I don't see the velocity. Okay, let's try to draw more. Might be the value. I see. Okay. Might be the value. Nope. So this is not working for some. See, this one rotated very fast. I don't know if it is because of. Okay. So let's just. It is not working for some reason. Let's see what we did wrong here. So we get the rigid body, we enable gravity, then we get a random value from 500 minus 500 to 500, and here for some reason it doesn't work. Force mode 2D that equals. Let's try this. See how this works. Nope, it still does not work for some reason. See this one. This one is rotating, but why? Ah, okay, I see. Um, okay, but let's look at that when we collide here. Okay, this is correct, but then why does it take time for this to? Okay, let's just remove this. Not the gravity, just let's remove that. I don't know what the problem is. Okay, don't know why that happens, but we'll keep this like this. And I think we'll stop for today and continue next Saturday. Friday we'll discuss C++ problems. I have to go through them again because last time I streamed, but Twitch muted my stream and I cannot post it to YouTube, so I have to redo that lesson. And next time when we continue this project, we'll add sound effects, background music, and some visual effects, and then we're done with this. And I will probably it will take one day. So Saturday we'll do this, and Sunday I think I will think of another game that will start. Okay. Thank you for coming, and see you next Saturday.